and good morning to you all on this Wednesday. Yes, happy hump day. Happy hump day. Does people still call it hump day? It's the hump of the week, and it's only a few days. More importantly, it is. It is only a few more days until Celtic take to the pitch. Yes, Celtic do take to the pitch on Friday, and it's going to be one of those games where there will be a lot of the youngsters will be given a chance on the pitch as Brendan Rodgers gets to try them out. 2 days, 10 hours and 57 minutes now until Celtic take to the pitch. And for me, I can't wait. The first game is always one of those games. But anyway, there's Celtic news this morning. We've started a poll already. Yang. Would you sell Yang this summer? And is he a player that is he really better than what we've got? And if you're going to get 2 or 3 million for him, would you just sell him? He's been linked, according to Anthony Joseph of Sky. He has been linked with Legia Warsaw. Have made an inquiry for the winger. Clubs in England and across Europe are also monitoring the South Korean's international situation. He's got 3 years left on his contract. 23-year-old. He's okay. He's okay. That's about as much as you could say for Yang, really, isn't it?
3 years left.
And it's just that he's okay. So would you sell him? That's the poll question early on this morning. That would depend on what happens with Kuhn. I think that you're going to sell Kuhn and Yang. I think with the players that are coming into Celtic, Brown Warrior, I think that you can't compare Yang to Kuhn. Not at all. Yang, he was. Let's be realistic. Even Brendan Rodgers laughed. He only got good last year when his missus came over from South Korea and he was getting a bit slap and tickle. So take from that what you want. For me, when you look at the squad, I would trim the fat from the squad. Nico Kuhn is also still on a wanted list, but Celtic are wanting a good bit of money for him. So we'll see. I think the Nico Kuhn one's going to drag out. I've just got a funny feeling until there's an official bid comes in from Leipzig. I mean, I think his preference, Kuhn's preference, would be go to Leipzig. Anyway, what about Newcastle? What about Celtic fans? What about the fact that Celtic have increased the allocation? Yes, Celtic have increased the away allocation for Newcastle United. Newcastle United tickets, pre-season trip to Scottish Premier Champion Celtic FC are on sale after being offered additional capacity, it says on the Newcastle website. Eddie Howe's side will travel to Scotland to face Brendan Rodgers' boys at Celtic Park on the 19th of July. Kick-off at 3 o'clock Celtic Park time, competing in the first ever Adidas Trophy. It's hardly a big trophy, is it? I mean, it's 2 teams, and whoever wins it gets the trophy. Whoopee. It's hardly a big competition, is it? But it is what it is, and Adidas are obviously trying to make more money out of Celtic. 20 million for Yang. Someone's on the drink this morning. Someone's definitely on the drink this morning. And if you think that you're going to get anywhere near 20 million for Yang, anyway, back to Newcastle United. However, after being offered additional capacity, tickets went on sale to season ticket holders with 35 points, it said. And they're now saying that anyone with 3 away or 4 away points can get a ticket, and then it's going to be available to all current season ticket holders. So Celtic have just went, do you know what? If our own fans aren't going to turn up in numbers for a game at Celtic Park, we're going to give them to Newcastle United, who'll pay £25 a ticket all day long. Their seniors are getting the tickets for 17. 13 to 16 year olds are paying 17, and 12 and unders are paying £12. Restricted view, you get a £3 reduction on the above prices. For the restricted view, that'll wind up Scottish football fans. The fact that they're getting a reduced Then do Scottish football fans get a reduction in price with the restricted view? Tickets are currently being fulfilled. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, that is it. That is it. No visitor tickets will be available on the day at Celtic Park. All tickets should be purchased in advance from Newcastle United. Oof. So that is it. That is the away allocation has increased for the Newcastle game. And I mean, what are they getting? Are they getting around about 10,000 now? You'd be lucky if there's 20. I mean, you'd be lucky if there's 20,000 Celtic fans. Celtic fans are going to have a lot of money to pump out, but they just don't seem to be interested in the Newcastle game at all. Yang's display in the cup final convinced me he's pish. To Monty. Imagine if he was worth 15 million. Imagine if he's worth 15 million, then we should ask the same for Yang. Should we ask so much for Yang? Is Yang... I mean, that's a whole different... I'd say developing further this season to where a Yang... can you develop Yang to be any better? He's 23-year-old. He's 23-year-old. He's kind of past the development stage of his career, isn't he? I mean, there's not many players that once they hit 23... I mean, some people say that players peak at around about 27. You could say he's got a couple of years in him, but if you want to make, if you're going to be a real top level player, the time you're 23, you should be bossing it at Celtic. You should be completely bossing it at Celtic. And for me, I think that personally, I would sell Yang. He's been here for a good couple of seasons, and he's never made the impact that. When you look at the size of the squad, we're going to be overrun with wingers this season. Look at it this way: you've got. He's going to be one winger. We play three up front. Now the players that we have for those positions already is Jota, Louis Palma, Benji, Marco Tilio, Yang, and Kuhn. That's the players that you've got to fill the positions already. He's way down the pecking order. I don't think that he's... And if we bring in another player, another winger, it's going to push Yang further down the pecking order. So I think that Celtic may look to sell Yang because... I mean, you can understand, and I just think they will. I think they're going to sell Kuhn and Yang this summer. And then they'll bring in... Do you know, we're shouting about giving some of the youth chance. I mean, maybe Brendan Rodgers will look at some of the youth wingers and say, do you know what? Is this 19-year-old just as good as Yang? You never know. You never know when it comes to Celtic. Brendan Rodgers yesterday spoke about Callum Osmond, and he spoke about the fact that the player wants to be part of the first team. Well, so does a lot of the players in the B team. And it was interesting that he says we're going to use pre-season to look at Callum Osmond and then figure out what to do with him. I've got a funny feeling that the guy might be punted out on loan. I've got a funny feeling that he could be punted out on loan. That would be an interesting move. You know, at 19-year-old, the Celtic manager, Brendan Rodgers said he'll decide that Celtic was going to be Callum obviously decided that Celtic were going to be the best step for him. What is the difference between Daniel Cummins' agent and what has Daniel Cummins' agent said to him compared to Callum Osmond's agent and what he said to him? Because they've kind of swapped, they're both similar ages and they've both swapped sides of the borders. Daniel Cummins went because he sees a pathway into the first team, and Callum Osmond's come to Celtic because he believes that he sees a pathway into the first team at Celtic. It's completely bizarre. Or was it just about cash? But then if it's about cash, what has Osmond been... What is his contract, what is his wage compared to what Daniel Cummins was offered? Anyway, he had the chance to go to other clubs, and Celtic told the Celtic manager said about Osmond. He decided that Celtic was going to be the next step for him. He wants to be part of the first team, so he's come here to grow and develop, obviously here. This is what this environment is built for, says Brendan. So we'll see a really exciting young player. We lost Daniel Cummins. We bring in another talented player who has bags of pace and has scored goals. We're delighted to get Callum up here. We'll have a look at him in pre-season and see where he's at from there. It doesn't say that he's going to be third choice striker, does it? It doesn't shout out to me that he's here to be third choice striker. Johnny Kenny is very much still in that position of third choice striker. So it's going to be interesting to see the way that this develops over the next couple of weeks, whether Johnny Kenny's sold on to Bolton. Bolton have put in an offer of 500,000. It's going to be interesting to see, is Callum Osmond ready to push Adam Ida? Is he ready to push Dyson Maeda? Or is Brendan Rodgers still holding out for a top-class striker? A top-class striker to be brought into Celtic. If you're wanting to go into the Champions League, and make an impact this season, you're not doing it with 19-year-old Callum Osmond, are you? Or are we? Do you know, are we really going to do it with 22, 23-year-old Johnny Kenny? It's not screaming out, is it? It's not prolific striker material. I still believe that Celtic could be in the market for a prolific striker. And then we've got the whole Dyson Maeda situation. We've got to see what happens with him. Right, let's jump into the poll. There's been over 95 votes already. Would you sell Yang this summer? 63% are saying yes, 37% saying no. The squad is looking a lot beefier. We had a look at it last night. Obviously, the only player that's still out on loan from Celtic is Odom Ohm. He's out on loan until December this year. So everyone else is back. You've seen in the Lennoxtown videos from yesterday, Gustav Lagerbielke back. A player that may or may not, he's not going to be here, is he? I think that everyone knows that he's got a club, he's wanting his way out the club. Big question marks over Stephen Welsh. And then there's Quan. I mean, Quan's never been in and around Celtic for about 2 seasons. He's been at Hibernian for the past couple of seasons. So there wasn't even an option to buy. Louis Palma, well, he was offered a way out of Celtic, but the team didn't take it. Yang is another player that's creating interest, and then there's the Marco Tilio situation. So it's going to be interesting. Brendan Rodgers is going to have his conversations. He's going to have a lot of conversations to have with players over the next couple of weeks. Nico Kuhn. The valuation of Nico Kuhn seems to be dropping. It does seem to be dropping. It's now said that Celtic value Nico Kuhn at 17 million. It was 20 million to start with. Have they dropped it to 17 million to get him out the door because they've got Benji in? Anyway, we'll soon find out. Let's finish up the poll. It's bang on 100 votes. Good little number for this morning after 13 minutes. Carter Vickers injured again. Yeah, it came out. It's not been confirmed, Brown Warrior. It came out yesterday that he may have had an operation during the summer. It's pure speculation at the moment. It hasn't been confirmed or denied by Celtic. People are just putting it in because he hasn't trained with the first team. You'll get a lot of people watching the videos that Celtic put out, and a lot of eagle-eyed people are saying he's not training with the first team. Why? Has he had an operation? It hasn't been confirmed by Celtic. You remember he had a knee operation a few years back under Ange Postecoglou. He got to the Rangers game towards the end of the season, the final Rangers game. We played that game, and then that was Cameron Carter-Vickers' season done and dusted. He went and got an operation on his knee. There's not been any confirmation about if he has had an operation. It is just pure speculation, and I don't think that we should really be adding to it until Brendan Rodgers sits down with the media, which will more than likely be tomorrow. Will Brendan sit down with the media tomorrow before the first pre-season game? He's got an amputated leg. I'm beginning to think he's got an amputated leg. Maybe he doesn't like the Champions League. Maybe he just doesn't like the Champions League, Cameron Carter-Vickers. Because that's the part of the season he always likes to miss, isn't it? Yeah, finally Yang news, says Michelle, and she says good morning. Is it good news to sell Yang? I mean, a lot of people in the poll said it is. Anyway, right. There's not a lot of other Celtic news kicking around today. Callum Osmond's strategy as he lays out Celtic plan. A lot of people going on about the fact that getting excited about the third choice striker and what Brendan Rodgers said. And the thing is, he didn't really say a lot about Callum. All he says, we're delighted to have him here and we'll have a look at him at pre-season and see where he's at from that. That doesn't say that he's going to, that to me doesn't jump down that he's going to be first team pick. Very far from it. I mean, he's got to get past Johnny Kenny. Could it be the fact, I mean, it will be something else if Callum Osmond, after all the hurrah and all the new signing from Celtic, that Celtic go, do you know what, mate, we're going to put you on loan just to keep you first game time. It happened with Ben Doak. He went to Liverpool after leaving Celtic, went out on loan. Could it happen with Callum? We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, that is your Celtic news for this morning. Michelle said, no, I was just asking yesterday, I was desperate to know if he's leaving Legia Warsaw or not. That's in motion, as they say. It is in motion. Anthony Joseph of Sky News said that Legia Warsaw have made an inquiry for the Celtic winger, and clubs across Europe are also monitoring the South Korean international situation. 3 years left on his contract. You're talking £3 million that Celtic will ask for him, if you ask me. Anyway, on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.